So, I know I told you guys I was going to get you something in the near future when I sent you the email. That hasn't happened, and that's for a very good reason. When you plan out a video and you want a lot of footage of what it is, and the park looks like this right here, it kind of damages my ability to get stuff done. So if you guys haven't figured it out by now, I'm sure you probably know, but I bought an entirely new bow with the money that you were so kind to send me. I didn't buy just parts of it. I have an entirely new setup, so right now I have two bows, of which I only need one at a time, so this is clearly becoming an addiction. And the one I purchased is actually the one that I'm going to be using at that tournament that's coming up later this month that I've told you about. Whether or not I'm prepared for the tournament, I'm not really sure. My goal was to at least not come in DFL, and it's starting to look more and more like that goal may not be met. But we'll see. I'm going to give it my best and see how it comes out. So, Grandma Cheryl, you had mentioned that you had done archery when you were younger. I believe you said it was in school. I'd like to show you what I purchased and explain maybe how it's a little different than what you had shot, or what it sounds like you had shot before. Let me take an opportunity to do that right now.
So what I'll be doing here is to go through the bits and pieces of the bow and explain how they might be different and why they're important. The ends of the limbs are thicker, so they are better resistant to the force of me and the shot, so they don't break. And this is standard on pretty much all the limbs. We're going to move up the riser here to show you what is actually terrible camera work and the sight. How this works is kind of like a sight on a pistol, where you have a front sight, which is the bit you're looking at, and your rear sight on the bow actually is your hand in the same place on your face every single time. It extends out from the front of the bow and is actually made of carbon, so it's not very heavy at all. You can see the aperture here. It's a little fiber optic piece, and it provides a pretty good spot to look at during the day. We'll move on to the stabilizers. The reason for these are for stabilization, obviously. More mass is harder to move with less force, so the shake goes down and the vibration goes down as well. These weights on here help to change the center of gravity of the bow. We also have some in the back to kind of equal it out. And these provide shakiness reduction and vibration reduction. This is just a mass weight. All this does is increase the weight of the bow, and it provides more resistance to shake. That's all it is. This hand, or the wrist wrap here, was actually made by Uncle Bobby, so thank you very much. These are the arrows that we generally use. You'll see up top something more traditional, something you might have shot. This is a hunting arrow, I believe, but its fletchings are larger. You can see here by my handiwork that these are thinner. These are my target arrows. They also have the curly fletchings, whereas you can see here on the traditional ones, the fletchings are more straight. These ones are kind of beat up. I actually found this arrow. But you can see here the differences. This one is actually considerably thicker. If my calipers will cooperate, you could see it's 5/16 of an inch. So that is, just a little bit under a half an inch, maybe a little more than a little bit. These are 7/32 of an inch, which is a little more than half of the size. What these are good for are the smaller diameter shafts are actually more resistant to wind because there's less face of the arrow to get pushed around from the sides, and they're also lighter, so I can shoot them farther without having to have a super heavy arrow. The fletchings are curved to induce spin in short distances, so they'll spin even indoors, and everything is tuned to hopefully have a straight shot right into the gold.
So, in closing, I'd just like to say that I really, really am grateful for your generous gift again. You don't ever have to do that, and I know I've said that before, and I'm sure you know that, but I was surprised and warmed by your generosity, so all I can say is thank you. I hope to see you guys again soon. I hope you're doing well, and everyone up at the family up there is doing well too, and I love you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. Can I talk?
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah?
Yeah.
God, I'm so bad at this. The little red light means it's off, right?
No.
Alright, let's take like 794, just this line, yeah? Remember the time I told you today that I was going to go upstairs and work on what I was going to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I was like, I'll just watch one episode. That came out.
Oh yeah, no, welcome to everything.
YouTube. I love YouTube forever.
YouTube, Netflix, it's all just different names for the same kind of crap. Yeah.